It's Spider Warren time. We're gonna watch today from Cosmic Spider-Man No Way Home real plot leak. Leak teaser with trailer release date. Speaking of trailer, wanted to give you guys a heads up. Start editing a little opening sketch for whenever the heck that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer finally comes out. And while it's not the craziest thing we've ever put together, it's a little bit of an ambitious edit. Yeah, we specifically designed this one just for the fans of the real rejects, you know? If you haven't been watching our Spider-Man coverage up until then, you might be like, what is this? If you actually watch our coverage of many a thing, I don't want to give away too much. You'll know why I'm saying all this. It's for like the guys who are clicking on this video right now who like these videos. Trust me, you'll get a kick out of it. That's all I'll say. Let's watch this video.
战报后关键新局。7月3日0点起，蜘蛛人离家日。
What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Calendar, and it looks like Sony Japan, that is, might have pulled a whoopsie this morning by releasing this on accident. It's a mini teaser trailer of the actual teaser trailer. It simply tells us when the release date is going to be. However, it is unconfirmed right now if this is indeed legitimate.
Probably
this
fake.
This is going around everywhere online right now. And if this is true, then, well, we only have 3 days to wait until we get the official Spider-Man No Way Home teaser. Now, I found out a little bit of Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer information that I'll share some of in this video. And I also have found out that there are actually some plot leaks out there that are very, very true.
That's what we're here
I'm going to be discussing in this video. So if you love Spider-Man and want to stay up to date on No Way Home, be sure to subscribe. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this leak is probably fake. Even if the trailer does come out on July 22nd, I still believe that this particular video isn't real. My main thinking behind this is that there's a really weird Spider-Man in the beginning that seems to be edited in, and his shoulders just covering the release date, which apparently is July 22nd. One, it seems like this is really not very good editing, and two, it's a little too convenient that his shoulder is barely covering the release date. If Sony Japan, or Sony in general, were going to put out a teaser for a teaser, they would actually give us the date. They wouldn't just show part of it. And that's really my main reasoning for thinking that this is probably not too legitimate.
You fake trailer people are getting really good. But yeah, I think that's definitely a fake. I love how you saved yourself, Warren, too. But if it comes out, it's still fake.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean,
smart way to save face in case.
It's just the Spider-Man graphic. It's like, I feel like they even could have done it. That's the one part that doesn't look quite pro.
Yeah, no, good call on specifically that one too.
So I checked with both of my sources. They haven't heard anything yet. But what I have heard and seen online from legitimate sources and people is that the trailer is expected to come out between now and the release of Marvel's What If on Disney+.
They're going to say the release of the film.
So there's only about a 20-day window in which the Spider-Man trailer could come out right now.
It's been 20 days for 2 years.
Correct about the window. And right now, that's really all that we've heard. Unfortunately, I do think that this is fake, but of course, there's always the possibility that it could be real. And yes, Spider-Man No Way Home is the worst kept secret in Hollywood right now, but I'm not sure if Sony Japan or anybody else from Sony is dropping teasers about the teaser. If they are, what an interesting tactic, and I mean, hey, it's gonna work, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
They do that with us.
Like I said, I have heard things about some specific plot leaks out there, and one of them out there is very legitimate, and of course I'm going to go over it, and I've actually gone over it before. This was before I had any confirmation that it was indeed real, and typically with plot leaks, there's always typically something that is true about it. We've learned since Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame and the rest of the movies and shows that have come out, typically with plot leaks, there are aspects of each plot leak that is real. However,
Spider-Man's definitely in this.
I've been told that pretty much all of it is legitimate. And I've even seen some people online like Grace Randolph stating that there is a 100% real plot leak out there online right now, and I believe it's this one.
She was right about the Mandalorian.
Really know,
It absolutely was.
I will say it's what we've been talking about this entire time, so it won't be that big of a surprise, but it sure is exciting. So let's go. Again, I've talked about this one before, but let's talk about it like this is actually what is going to happen. It starts off by saying, Peter's life is ruined after his identity was revealed at the end of the last Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. He is now facing trial, and Matt Murdock is his lawyer. Peter goes to Doctor Strange and asks him to cast a spell to make everyone forget that he is Spider-Man. Doctor Strange actually agrees to this, but something goes wrong with the spell and they break reality and bring 5 Spider-Man villains of other dimensions into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Green Goblin from Spider-Man 1, Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, the Sandman from Spider-Man 3, Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man, and Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Norman Osborn is talking to the others asking what is the last thing that they remember, and they all say that Spider-Man killed them. That's the last thing they remember, dying at the hands of Spider-Man. And this is what each of them individually say. Doctor Strange wants to take them back to their original dimensions, but the villains fear that returning would mean that they would return exactly where they came from, meaning they would die again at the hands of Spider-Man.
Okay, so the idea is that they all appear at once. It's not like this person gets a scene and then this person gets a scene, like a reintroduction and a reintroduction. They're all just gonna kind of come in like this ensemble of villains introduction. I mean, if you're gonna fit this in a 2.5-hour movie, I feel like maybe you have to do it that way.
Yeah, or make it a montage where they all link up pretty quick afterwards or something. But it does seem like
they enter captivity right away.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Maybe somebody's taking advantage of the multiverse to like triangulate them all into the same place or something like that. Like,
damn, Strange. You done messed up. You try doing one spell and you end up doing something that's the complete opposite. I mean, you just get the ultimate reminders of Spider-Man.
I guess, yeah. I mean, maybe that's
sure. I'll help you forget. I'll have everyone forget. Here's the biggest reminder of every Spider-Man.
Well, that's the thing is that they're always just going to show up like right in the Sanctum Sanctorum or something like that. Then, and I mean, this really sounds like it's heaping up to be Doctor Strange's fault.
Yeah. Doctor Strange is keeping all of these villains trapped in a magical prison, and Peter doesn't really feel right about that. So Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin, manipulates Peter into freeing them, making him feel guilty for their deaths. This leads to a major conflict between Doctor Strange and Peter Parker. So Peter fights Doctor Strange and breaks the key, which is a cube that held them captive in the prison, and the villains are now free. They start destroying parts of New York, and to stop them, Peter somehow brings Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
They just want an apology.
The final battle is going to be at the Statue of Liberty, with the 3 Spider-Mans fighting together, fighting the Sinister Six. And the person who provided this plot leak said, "To be clear, I have no idea who the 6th member is or when and how he comes to the scene." And that very well could mean that it's going to be a villain from our own universe. Since all of these other characters are indeed multiversal villains, it would make sense to have at least one villain from our own universe. Heck, maybe even Mysterio is alive, which is something that I kind of believe and hope for. And I wouldn't put it past the Master of Illusions, Mysterio, to still be alive, his whole death being a grand illusion.
Let's place some bets right now.
All right.
Vulture or Mysterio? I would say Vulture would be a decent bet.
I would say so, because we've already also seen him show back up as Adrian Toomes in that Mobius trailer.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel Morbius. That's a pretty likely choice. Plus, everyone loves Michael Keaton. There's a miniature Keaton-sance going on
King
right
the
now.
Conqueror.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors, just another Kang variant.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, let's just keep introducing Kang until we get to the Conqueror variant. Yeah. Every upcoming Marvel project.
But Mysterio also seems like I would like it if it is Mysterio, because that would be the ultimate master.
I think it should be both versions of Shocker.
You know what you can do is you could have Logan Marshall Green play the first Shocker, and then when Shocker gets his mask, then you put the black guy.
Then you put Bokeem Woodbine.
That way you just piss off
have
everyone.
A devil reunion.
We were making 2 different jokes. You're making a devil.
It's a multiverse joke.
I'm making a joke about it would piss people off that once he gets a mask, that's when you put a black guy in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a better joke because that's got social commentary, which is what these movies are aiming at.
Now, let's talk about some key parts to this. One key part is actually something that we've been hearing for a very long time. It was reported on well over a year ago that Spider-Man
He looks like a werewolf there, doesn't he?
Would actually be responsible for releasing the villains. Now, at first, that was really all of the context that we were given, just that Spider-Man releases the villains. We didn't really know what that meant, though. However, now we do. Doctor Strange actually puts them in a magical prison. Then, Peter Parker releases them. That's how it happens. Now, as far as the villain villains actually coming into our reality, Loki kind of explains how this could happen. The multiverse is now a thing. There are tons and tons of branch alternate timelines, and there weren't before. There was just one sacred timeline, and perhaps Doctor Strange, although I would find it very odd if he didn't know, but perhaps he doesn't know about all of these alternate branches yet, because that could be happening at the exact same time he's dealing with Peter Parker. So he casts a spell that before probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal, but now since there are multiple timelines and branches, it is a big deal, and it does actually affect the multiverse. And this could be how they come in. Doctor Strange isn't aware that another timeline is so close to theirs, so the spell ends up bringing other variants into the MCU. And from here, something else that is in this plot leak that has been talked about for a while is that Peter Parker and Doctor Strange aren't going to agree on something. Well, we now know what that is. It's the fact that Doctor Strange is holding these villains in a prison cell and wants to send them back to their original timelines. Now, of course, this would in turn kill them, because that's what was going to happen to them before, Spider-Man killing them. So our Peter Parker, being a Spider-Man variant, feels guilty about this and somewhat responsible since they are dying to a Spider-Man, even though it's not him. So this is clearly their disagreement. Doctor Strange thinks they should be sent back, even if it's going to kill them, and Peter Parker disagrees. Whatever Peter's solution could have been on how to save them, who knows?
That's gotta be some far-fetched lie. Like, I could see Goblin thinking it. Yeah, Peter was gonna kill me. But like Doc Ock
like selflessly sacrifices himself like to save everybody from his own madness.
To be honest, I don't really remember Electro's final moments.
They were good.
They're talking about Sandman returning. Same thing.
Yeah.
They're talking about Lizard return. Lizard's confirmed to return, I believe.
Even he has kind of a change of heart at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
They all kind of got to be human characters.
So it's gotta be some lie that they're all suddenly saying.
It seems kind of odd to me, again, with unless you never know what excess multiversal mumbo jumbo will help them out, but it does feel like these are still several different-minded villains who all had very different motivations.
They all could be variants from the movies that we're watching too, though.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing I've been wondering, because they've at least confirmed, I think at one point, like Jamie Foxx, he's not going to be the same blue character from before. I guess at least some of them have to be different variants and not like the same exact ones. Yeah, maybe just his experience was much harsher.
He ends up breaking them out, and they end up causing havoc on New York. And the final scene is on the Statue of Liberty, which we actually know this to be real as well. We've actually seen leaked photos of the Statue of Liberty on the Spider-Man set, and we've actually seen the Statue of Liberty holding a Captain America shield. So who knows what's happening there, but exciting nonetheless. So be sure to let me know what you think about this plot leak, as I've been told that it is pretty much legitimate. This is probably what we're going to be seeing in Spider-Man No Way Home. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and of course for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
I already follow you, so I don't need to do anything you just said.
Boom, that's you're winning.
Love you, Warren. Great job, buddy. Killing it. Can't wait to see what you get right and what you get freaking wrong when the movie actually comes out.
With all these leaks that you came up with. This is your fan fiction, right? I think the Phase 4 theme truly just is like all the Marvel core characters messing up and having to deal with that.
Hell yeah.
Because I love how half these Spider-Man leaks are like, Doctor Strange screwed this spell up, and then Peter made a bad choice about the villains.
Well, guys, what do you think about Spidey letting all them go? Does that bode well for you?
Does that sound like a Peter choice?
Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. Last but not least,
Jason the Dolan. If there's anyone here at our Patreon who has been just like an Uncle Ben to the both of us,
Jason actually said he was in town, and I'm not supposed to tell you.
Uncle... No,
just continue with...
It can still work, because Uncle Ben is no longer in Peter's life. And now I feel a lot like Peter, because, you know, here I am thinking like, oh, Jason, we're close, we're buds. And now I find out, you know, you're here in spirit for me.
One thing he also mentioned was he really hates the Uncle Ben character.
So you're Happy Hogan now when we're in the MCU.
Him and John Favreau got in a really nasty dispute.
Have you seen the Italian Spider-Man YouTube video?
He's a big fan of that.
You are that Italian Spider-Man, truly to me.
All right, we did the shout out. Good.
Jason, you're awesome. Cassie Reacts, go watch her stuff. She's the real Aunt May.